Kia ora, and welcome to Constellations and All That. I'm your host, Tracy Cartwright, and together we will be exploring the world of family constellations with facilitators and clients from around the world, looking at different perspectives and experiences in the work, having a cup of tea and just chatting with some friends around their experiences in constellations. We'd love for you to join us. I hope that you enjoy this series as much as I have loved making it. Kia ora everyone, and welcome to Constellations and All That. Today I have the pleasure of chatting with Claudia Samano actually, I'm not even going to say where you're from. I'm going to invite you, please, Claudia, to share a little bit about yourself, where you're from.
Thanks for inviting. Yeah, my name is Claudia Samano. Thanks for that beautiful pronunciation of my last name. I'm living in Tucson, Arizona, the United States right now, but I am originally raised and born in Mexico City. So yeah, I've been in the United States for almost 25 years now. So yeah, this is my second country, and I'm a Mexican American working in the field of holistic therapy since around 12 years ago. Yes, that's me.
Beautiful. And you do quite a bit around, well, in Mexico, we did some movement. So you do dance and movement, and that's incorporated, is that correct? In your work, in your
Yes,
constellation work?
yes, I'm incorporating right now what it is movement therapy or dance movement therapy. That's my background. Since I'm young, since I was 16, I started with dance movement therapy, now called somatic therapy, which is very like aligned with what we did a long time ago when I was 16, 17, 18, 19. And I've been working with the body and techniques that are body centered, of course. I started with constellations less than a decade ago, like around 9 years ago, and I noticed the importance of the body in the constellations, and I was like, voila, this is something I can actually merge and work in a very unified way with both techniques, constellation and movement therapy. Yeah, I was a dancer for all my life until I moved to Tucson 3 years ago. I stopped dancing just because I'm doing more constellations now. But I have my own dance studio and recreational center for 11 years back in Washington. So I've been interacting with the body and the ways to not just healing, but expressing ourselves and creating the safe spaces to move around for kids, adults, young adults, teenagers, etc., special needs, popularity. So I've been very involved with the body, yes, forever. So that's why I picked that topic for the ISCA convention in Merida,
It's
where I met
so
you.
important, isn't it? Like, so important because I think I'm going to say the majority of us at some point, if not still, are and have been disconnected to our bodies.
It is sad to think that it's not our fault. It's just the way we've been seeing the body as forever. We see the body as a separate entity from our health.
Yeah.
We see the body as a consequence, and bodies, it's a consequence, but it's also part of I will say, the main part of our health. So is the center, the body kind of like get all these experiences that maybe the mind try to escape from or try to avoid or try to hide, but the body can't. So it's just sad because we don't see it that way. We see as, okay, the body, we can shut down the body and we can just we cannot listen to the body and just continue our life like nothing is happening. The body is screaming at us. So yeah, it's important to just notice that. And in the constellations, we see you, right? We see you and we value you, and the body is a vehicle, like I think it is now.
Absolutely. Can you share with me how were you introduced to constellations?
Back in 2018, I think. No, 2017. I was like in my 38, 39 years old. And, those those times where you're like, okay, enough is enough. I guess I need to take care of myself a little more. You are not that much out there. You can you start interacting with yourself in another way when you are almost 40 and your kids are grown up and growing and you're kind of like more in contact with you. And I started to looking more into these holistic therapies for myself. So I was searching constellations because, oh, by the way, I think I heard about Bert Hellinger and I was like, Bert Hellinger doing what? And that was my first, what kind of therapy is he talking about? What kind of things he does? So I searched and I found a couple of people here in the United States, but I wasn't sure. It was too much like not what I'm seeing right now or what I have seen now. But I was like, okay, I'm going to sign up for a workshop to see how it works. And at the same time, trying to get in the workshop, a person that lives in Mexico, which is my youngest cousin, she called me after 10 years of not talking with each other. And oh, we found each other on Facebook. Yes. And we started talking and she say, oh, well, it's so good to see you and so good to know about you. She's like around 8 years younger than me, and we started talking about what we were doing and our kids and etc. And suddenly she's like, well, I'm in this new workshop about constellations. And I was like, wait, I just signed up for something like that and it's new for me. So we started talking about our paths, and from since then we've been together in that. So I signed up for her workshop in Mexico virtually and she signed up for the one here, and we shared since then. Actually this morning we were
Wow.
talking, and after me doing workshops and private constellations with just in my own path and with my own healing process, I decided I think I want to facilitate too. And
Mm.
I got in a facilitation program and I graduated a couple of years ago. So I'm pretty new. However, I feel like I've been there forever because
Yeah.
it feels like home. So every
Yeah.
time I'm constellating, it's like, no, I think I've been here before and this feels so comfortable. It's not 100% new. I feel like my body already knew some of these things. So that's
Yeah.
how I started. Yeah.
Beautiful. And did your cousin come to the conference and meditate?
No, no, she couldn't. She was not there. However, she wanted. She had another retire, like a retreat the same weekend, and she invited me, and I was like, "Oh, I can't. I'll be in Merida." So no, she lives in Querétaro, actually, very close to the people that we met in Isca. So it's this in the same community in Querétaro, Mexico. So
Mm.
no, she was not there. Yeah.
If you're meeting someone for the first time and they are asking you what you do and you start talking, you share that you're a family constellation facilitator, how do you describe it to them? How do you share what you do?
That's a tough question because I guess is a question for all the facilitators how to actually don't not to scare people away, but also to make them feel that it's something really like home. Like you don't have to believe in anything, but you just have to believe in yourself and your body and what is going on there. So has been a topic for me in the last 2 years. But I always describe constellation therapy as a therapy where your ancestors and your lineage and will assist you in a way where you can even observe, understand, and heal some part of your life. It could be physically, mentally, or emotionally. But I always try to say and try to make very clear about observing first, because as well with the body, like if you go to a class and you just dance in front of the mirror and you're just observing the body through the mirror, you're not really observing yourself. You're observing your image in the mirror. So you're not feeling or observing the changes really clear in your body. And I feel like in constellations, we come to a constellation thinking that you will heal something just because, that's a misunderstanding. So I always say you will observe what it needs to be observed, what it needs to be noted, and then you will
Mm.
understand, and then things will come together. Now, on reference of the body embodiment and the somatics and all this, it's very clear. Like I always say, we use the body to read the field. Like the body is going to be the vehicle. Your body is going to be that part where you are so sensitive, or you are talking to me about the sensations you are having in the field. So that's why I like to do my somatic intervention or my movement therapy before the constellation. So people is already sensitive to or acknowledging the sensations in the body, or observing the sensations in the body before getting into the constellation itself. So I explain that to them too.
Brilliant. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because sometimes people say, I don't feel anything. I'm not,
Uh-huh.
I'm not, there's nothing. Sometimes
Yeah.
that's the constellation, right? But other times it can be that detachment from themselves, which again may be part of the constellation as well.
It's part of the constellation. It is
Mm.
I think it's important to know that it's not easy. I mean, to feel the body means you being aware of your body for a long time. And as we said before, we are unaware of so many things happening in the body because we tend to ignore the signs or ignore the pain. Or if we have pain, we kind of like, okay, we go through the easiest thing. What is the easiest thing? I'm just gonna try to reduce the pain with this, but we don't go in depth of what my body is telling me. So if we don't allow the body to talk in the constellation, it's going to be hard to listen,
Mm.
right? Because we're not talking. So it's like a self conversation between the body and myself. So it's not easy. As I'm saying, it's not easy for someone to be completely aware when we are stressed out, when we are overwhelmed. It's easy to just separate body from mind because it's just the way you're not feeling that much, right? So this thing is so common for us, like this association of the body and the mind is just the most common thing to do. So when you come to the constellation, it's pretty usual to see that people are not connecting or are not feeling anything, especially if it's the first constellation, right? So for me has been like the point, okay, let's just concentrate itself in the body, ourselves in the body first before moving to the
So
constellation.
how would you do that?
I'll do a lot of introspection. I do a little breathing technique at the beginning. I do a scanning, body scan at the beginning. And I just pointed at, I just try to explain that we're going to go through this first. So once we are aware and once we're conscious about what I'm trying to do, it's like an intention, right? It's easier than just putting ourselves there just from the very beginning. So yeah, meditation, breathing techniques, body scans, etc. Mm-hmm.
Great. Yeah. Yeah. And have you ever come across it where there's been someone who's come along and they're just like, I can't visualize, don't feel my body.
Yeah.
Uh,
Oh yeah. Many times. Many times, and I just give space and I just give time. As I say, even myself, when I'm so overwhelmed or so stressed out, it's hard for me to feel my body. It's hard for me to sit down in a meditation and just be still and feel my body because my head is distracting me, right? And no, pay attention
mm.
out there. No. So, and I've been trained for years, for decades. So yeah, I found that a lot. So it's pretty normal. Yeah. Moving itself works too. So moving around, I ask them to walk around the room too and to feel the contact with the floor, the contact with others, the body shifting the weight right, left. You are actually stepping with which foot first. So yeah, moving around will help also. I think it's easier than staying still sometimes.
Yeah. 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 Yeah, there was a lovely exercise that and I used to do that I was taught when I was training, and that was to walk around but with your eyes like looking at the ground, not looking at anyone else, but you were to walk around, mingle in between each other, so maybe there's a group of 20 people and you're just sort of looking at the ground and just be aware of yourself. Just notice as you're walking around, you see other people's feet. And so you're trying not to bump into them and then maybe come up your body a little bit and notice when someone is walking past you that maybe there's maybe you're noticing the sensation of them walking past you without,
Mhm.
and then slowly we would work up the body to the when you got to the point where now you're making eye contact, or you're glancing at people as they go past, and then you start making eye contact. And that was a really beautiful way to get people feeling themselves, feeling into the body and feeling the field as well. Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes even feeling how my speed, how fast I'm walking. So, how fast I'm walking, how strong, how my body is actually walking like so straight or so flowy, or am I walking like an elephant? Am I walking like a bird?
Mm.
Just being aware of the quality of your movement takes you to, oh, okay, this is how I'm doing it. So you recognize these patterns. Um, yeah, it's a beautiful work. It's not easy, but it is beautiful once you get to that point where you can recognize all these patterns and sensations, and it's easier for you to get to the constellation, I guess.
Do you do just one-on-one? Sorry, just group work, or do you do one-on-ones as well?
I actually started with group sessions when I finished my facilitation training, and then I was like, I think I'm ready to do one-on-one. And right now, I'm working one-on-one every week. I have a couple, two, three people per week, so it's been so good. I'm so impressed of how the field has opened for me, and it's great to see people joining and feeling this just one on one, because at the beginning it's scary, right? You're like, oh, one on one is actually a huge responsibility, but I guess it's no, is a way you connect with someone really heart to heart, and in the constellation, in the group therapy too. But I guess one on one, it's a really beautiful connection with, yeah,
Mm,
with the other soul. So yeah, I do one on one too.
fantastic. And obviously the
Mhm.
movement is a big part of that.
The movement, it's part of it, yeah, and we take time to be aware of that, as I say before. And then I've been also implementing the Ho'oponopono healing. I don't know if you have heard about it, but Ho'oponopono has lived with me since probably 15 years ago, and it has been a big thing in my life. So in one constellation, probably one of the first constellations I made by myself, it came out very natural, saying, I love you, forgive me, I'm sorry. And it came so naturally that I was like, I think that we can use this. Then, like 2 weeks later, I went to the book fair, and I found a book about constellations and Ho'oponopono in the same book. And I'm like, oh, I'm not the first one thinking this. So I was just
Is
so
that the
interested
little
in learning more.
yellowy colored book?
Hawaiian
Yeah, yeah,
type.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And they gave it for me to me for free because they were closing the shop. They were closing the shop. It was already late. They closed at 3. I came like at 2:35, 2:40, and they were like, you know what, we're closing, so just take the books you want, and they're free. And I was like, oh, okay. So I went into the store, and there he goes. That's the book, right? I'm like, okay. So I took it, and I realized that it was a work that was behind before me. Of course, I was another person, or many people just working with the Ho'oponopono healing, and I've been using it, and it has been fabulous
So
too.
have you developed your own style of it from that?
I'm
What's
still developing, but I'm sorry. No,
no,
go
no,
ahead.
okay.
Yeah, I'm still developing. I guess it goes with the flow. So
Mm.
at the moment, I feel like it's important to create this connection between Ho'oponopono and constellations. It comes magically. It's not even planned. I just know that I'm going to use it because I use it probably every session.
So for someone who doesn't know what Ho'oponopono is, can you explain it?
Yeah, the Ho'oponopono is Hawaiian healing prayer, and it's actually a holistic therapy now. I got certified Ho'oponopono a couple of years ago. Is Dr. Lean was the one that actually put it on, like, brought it alive, because it was used before him, but it was just in little tribes in Hawaii. And then he was a psychologist, no, a psychiatrist, I'm sorry. And he was assigned in psych jail how do you call it, when then there's a jail and a psychiatrist in the same place, so it's mental ill people in jail, because he was assigned to this jail because no one else could actually take care of these people. It was just unbearable, and many people were just resigning and quitting the job. And he said,
It
"I'll
was
take
very
it."
high needs, wasn't it? Very demanding psychiatric and mental health and in a jail sort of.
Yeah, it was really like no one wanted to take the risk or the job. And he said, I will take it. He knew already about the Ho'oponopono, being a psychiatrist, and they allow him to do whatever he could do. So he started working Ho'oponopono, which is just a prayer. And it's, well, it's not just a prayer, it has so much behind, but it's connecting with your own healing. So when you heal, your surroundings heal. So when you are focused in what you can heal from inside, you can actually help others healing around you. So every problem that you see in front of you, or anything that is happening in your field, has to be with you. So
Yeah.
you actually repeat to yourself these four phrases: I'm sorry, I love you, please forgive me, and thank you. And once you do that, he did that for every single patient in the clinic, and without seeing them, just with their
Their
paperwork.
records, yeah.
Records, thank you. Just with the records. And he said he was there for probably years, just healing himself with each record. And in weeks, the entire environment of this place shift to be from being very aggressive and very hostile environment. It was an environment of at least more peace. And from there, he started working with the staff there too. So the entire place shifted energies, and he was able to prove that he was working with the energy of everybody else. And then the patients started getting better and better and better. So it's a healing that comes from inside. Just for kind of like a more a
Yeah,
more
yeah, and it's beautiful. So in a constellation, how would you do that? Would you put in those four phrases, or is how did
yeah, I will use it with healing phrases. Well, we have the las frases sanadoras, which are the healing phrases, yeah, in English.
yeah,
And
healing
I will,
sentences?
yeah, in sentences, yeah. For example, I'm not talking specifically about this one. I had a group constellation, and there was this lady on her 50s, trying to get closer to her dad. And her dad was he didn't want to, because he was so ashamed and shy, because he did something that he was not supposed to under his values, right, or her values. So he didn't want to. He was just getting apart, aside and aside and aside from the circle. So when I finally or when the energy finally brought them a little closer, I started using these phrases from her. Just, can you repeat these phrases to you? And at the moment she started saying, I love you, forgive me, dad started coming very close to her, until they were facing each other for the first time. So she started crying, dad started crying, and I kept repeating the phrases just like that. And after a while, this was a really long constellation, but after a while, dad actually came close to her and held her. As a matter of fact, this was very healing. A couple of weeks later, dad was really sick in real life, very, very sick. He had a stroke for years. And as a matter of fact, dad actually passed away a couple of weeks later. And she was telling him, Dad, I love you. And he said, I know, and I'm so sorry. So something shifted just in the way she was
Mm.
talking to him in the constellation, just by recognizing this on her too.
But she was saying that, I love you, please forgive me, I'm sorry.
I love you. Please forgive me. Thank you. And I'm sorry.
Or
So
was
four.
it please forgive me? How do I say it?
Therefore,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And because
I
sometimes people
love
put
you.
them in different
Orders.
sequences, right?
Uh-huh.
I'm
Uh-huh.
sorry, please forgive me, I love you, thank you. I think that is how I was taught it.
Mm-hmm.
So she's saying that to herself,
Mm-hmm.
and from that it resonates out in the shifting of the healing to her father. Just for clarity for anyone that's listening, that she's not
Yeah.
saying to her father, I forgive you. She's saying this to herself.
No, it's to ourselves. Yeah.
Yeah, I had a beautiful experience in I was at an exhibition, and it was around survivors of sexual abuse. And that's one part of being part of my journey. And there were photographs of the people, like, and it was just all sorts of different poses and different things and little bits about their story and stuff like that. And there was one I came across one, and there was a woman, and she was floating in the water, and she was naked. And I immediately went into, oh no, 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 that's not okay. This is years ago. No, 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 that's not okay. You're not safe. And then I stopped and I started to say the Ho'oponopono to myself till I felt like I moved that in me. Because she was free, but there was something in me that wasn't feeling free around it. And there was, and my judgment around that isn't safe for her, but that was something in me. So I used that phrase in that, and it was so beautiful and so healing in that moment.
Yeah, and that's exactly what Dr. Lean explained all the time during the training. It's saying if you have a problem, work on you. You are the one that is seeing this as a problem, right?
Mm.
So facing it as, okay, what I'm seeing, this is disturbing. Let's just work on how I say it, right? And he talked about all levels, countries, government, family.
Because we're
We
talking
have
vibration, frequency, alignment, aren't we? When
exactly,
if
exactly,
you're talking on another level there, yeah, absolutely.
exactly, exactly.
Because
So
if
it
you're
makes
putting
sense to me.
if you're putting in that, oh, this is wrong, the judgment and the angst and the bitterness to that, it's sure coming back as well. But if you can
Hmm.
find that in you, that love and that frequency of love and just trying to find the right word. We'll just say with love, that frequency of love, then things can move around you in your view.
Yeah, like cleaning. He said, "You're cleaning,"
Mm.
and he always say that word. Like when you feel like something is there, clean it with your words. So you're cleaning the space, you're cleaning the air, you're cleaning the energy with these words. And there is other rituals with that too. There is a lot of praying with meaningful words like hummingbird, like blue, like light blue, like stuff like that. And they use it because it's already coded in something that will help you cleaning the energy. So it's beautiful. And I thought like the constellation was cool actually embrace these things. The constellation is just beautiful, but it keeps growing. In ISCA, I just realized how huge is actually the work in constellations. It's not just working in certain ways. I was so
Mm.
impressed of seeing all of you and all the workshops with all different topics, with all different techniques, just embracing and the constellation by Bert Hellinger embracing them all. So that was
Mm.
beautiful for me. Was really okay. Yeah, I'm doing what I suppose. I at the beginning I was not even. I was trying to do it, and I was like, should I do this? Should I do what my heart is saying? Should I implement Ho'oponopono? Should I implement somatic intervention, movement therapy? And no, I'm sure now it's part of it.
Yeah, I watched a video the other day where Bert Hellinger was using NLP,
Uh-huh.
and he was stating that this is an NLP process, but there's the space for it, and that's what I always appreciated about him sharing that. Take the bones of what I give you, of the structure of the work, and add to it the other tools that you have. So there is the classic constellations from his original work, but over the
Mm-hmm.
time, there is what has been melded with it. I definitely would not say my work is classical, far from it. But I love all the different styles and the way that we can work with constellations.
Approaches.
Yeah, yeah, the different approaches.
It's great. It's great because if you have lived the experience of working with other holistic practices, you have lived the results, you have been there. And I guess at the end, it's all about order and love. At the end, doesn't matter what holistic therapy it is or what approach is. Love at the end, loving and recognizing yourself in this world, right?
Yeah.
And spiritually and physically and mentally and emotionally. So different ways, yes, but at the end we're trying to create this awareness and this consciousness of who we are and how can we root it ourselves with the help of our ancestors or this or that. So I guess it's, at the end is the same. I will say we are all going towards consciousness and love, in my experience.
Beautiful. Beautiful. How have you seen, or have you seen the shift within your family system? Maybe from something that you've done or just with the awareness of constellation?
You mean like with all these new formats coming in, or
No, like, have you have you noticed there's more ease in your family? Some tension that used to be running through the system that has dropped away, or
okay,
more
yeah.
communication or something?
Well, definitely. I guess in the world we're living right now, and I'm in the United States, so I guess we have created, as I said at the beginning, we have created this tension that sometimes we don't even know where it's coming from. It's just our body just being resilient from we don't know from where, but it's just we're just more resilient. But with the resiliency sometimes comes the strength, and with the strength sometimes comes the numbness. I don't want to feel numb, but sometimes it's required, right, to continue my day just because I can't
Mm,
get attached to what I'm. It has been hard, like in the back of our heads all the time, what is happening around, right? So I have seen so much of this numbness in bodies and this and people trying to go back to who they are. And I'm not going to say just in the United States, I guess everywhere, right? We are just kind of like falling apart from who we are and just trying to survive. And yeah, we can fall in the numbness and not feeling who we are. So I think that's a huge shift. Going back to what I have seen with Bert Hellinger, I didn't have the pleasure to meet him live, but tons of videos and tons of during my training,
mm,
right? And I still watching a lot of what his work. But I guess right now is just shifting to who I am, not even my family or my problems. I want to feel better myself. I have seen that
yes.
every
Yeah.
single day. What do you want to constellate myself? Give me a topic myself. I just want to feel fine. I just want to feel okay. I don't want to feel like I want to cry today over and over and over. So this
Mm,
is over stress and overwhelming um, life where we're living, I guess, is just bringing people to, okay, let's start from me, where who I am and where I'm starting from, and then I can help others, so I can actually try to find a cure or a healing in another person or for another thing, right?
mm. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
It's really good. Do you find that there are themes that come to you? Like,
Yeah, like specific things, like a
yeah,
specific work people want to do.
yeah, so
Um,
maybe, yeah, could be anything.
Yeah. Well, as I said, again, it's just the awareness of their own situation, most of it. Mostly, I don't know if it's because I am almost 50, but mostly people on my age, like coming to me saying, how can I feel better? How can I feel myself again? How can I just not being the mom, but I want to be myself again? So encountering with themselves, the encounter with themselves that has been a topic, and then of course the family and else, but community too, like how can I belong? I want to feel belonged. I want to feel like I belong to the community. I want to feel like I'm part of something. So belonging and self-awareness, I guess, are the topics. And I guess it makes sense. We most of us come families that are not perfect, right? And they're not the perfect family, because we have a concept of perfection that it's not even real. But sometimes we just try to reach that perfection our entire life until we realize it doesn't exist. So
Mm.
what I'm doing right now, where should I turn around right now if I know that I'm never gonna get that perfection, or never gonna reach this perfect family forever? And I'm healing my parents right now, but I really want to be perfect in my own life. So it's kind of like we realize that we're not going anywhere if we keep thinking the way we thought before as a child, right? Like in the constellations, we'll be like, well, you are still in the child, um, thinking as a child. You're not thinking as an adult. So I think that's an important thing to work on. Like sometimes it's just okay. Let's think in the adulthood right now and look at yourself as an adult that can have all that you're wishing you had when you were a child, right? Or yeah, those kind of situations are important sometimes for me right now, because I see a lot of I wish everything is different. I wish I had this and that 45 years ago that I didn't have 45 years ago. um, so like, well, that was 45 years ago, so just realize that it's not going to happen, but we can recognize what is ours, and what can we take from our parents, what can we take from our ancestors, and then move on, right? With honoring their lives and honoring what they cool gave us.
Yeah, yeah. When you were talking about earlier about the perfect parent, it's like that's really coming from our inner child, isn't it? Or the perfect family. Like, I mean, as children, we don't realize maybe the extent of the um, dysfunction, or the disconnection, or whatever, right?
Yeah,
Or that and as you say, there is no such thing as perfect anyway, but in our childlike eyes, we often see our families as perfect until we one day we wake up and realize, oh, this is not it. I've just taken the glasses off. Oh, okay.
uh-huh.
Yeah, I see.
This
I
is
see.
it. Uh-huh. Yeah, this is it. So it's just funny because you just look around you and you think, oh well, my family was not the only dysfunctional family, and we have the tools to notice now that
Mm,
we can move on from that with our family support, even though family is not there anymore, or even though family never gave you the support. But with the constellations, is a magic thing, right? It's a magical thing that you still can get this energy, this love, this strength from your parents, from your ancestors, even if they were not there for you. So when you realize this, you stop expecting perfection where it's never going to be. So it's just magical, I guess. Is
mm.
Yeah, it's the shift from being naive and not wanting to know that you can't
Yeah, because you
handle your
can you
things
can
now.
go from that naivety. Sometimes I've seen this, you go from the naivety to this realization, then to the anger of, or the frustration of what happened or what didn't happen. But then you can
Yeah,
come into the space through constellations of acknowledging it and still being able to be part of the system without having to carry it, or and and like you say, taking from the ancestors, still being able to receive the goodness and the support and the connection. Yeah.
yeah. And you sometimes suddenly you realize that your success is your history or your story of life. Changing the narrative is going to take you to the successful life you want to have, just by understanding the narrative, but changing your narrative here. Like, okay, I was in a dysfunctional family and I'm moving on from that. Is this giving me an excuse not to move on, or is giving me the power to move on?
Mm.
And this is beautiful on in my eyes. It's like, okay, well, you have to choose, and constellation is going to give you the tools.
Yeah. Yeah.
Are you going to use this as an excuse or as a power
Yeah.
to move on? Hmm.
Beautiful. Have you got any examples of that you could share?
Okay, an example. I just had a constellation last week with someone beautiful, also 40 something year old lady, and trying to, I don't want to be very specific, but trying to help her son. And then with her son is special needs, right? So she was trying to help him. And when she realized she could actually see what her parents, she didn't have dad present in her life, and she was blaming on him for all what is happening right now to her. Like she feels a lot of resentment, and she's just like suffering because her dad was not in her life and he didn't want to be in her life. So at the moment she realized she she could take her parents still. I mean, her dad was there in the constellation, and she could actually take from him what she was waiting for all these 40 something years in order to do something better for her son. She was just amazed. We were not even finished with finishing the constellation, and she was like, I think this is enough. I think everything is going to change because now I see what happened here. I never saw
Mm.
this. I never saw mom and dad behind me. I never saw my ancestors helping me out or supporting my path, and I never saw all my family related like this, right? So it was just we didn't even finish, and she said, "No, I think I'm feeling better now because I know where this goes." So I guess those little aha moments are the moments where you realize you have the power. You don't have the excuse now; you have the power, right? And
Yeah,
I think
brilliant.
in my own experience that happened too. I guess I for my entire life I was always very sad about my dysfunctional family, and always, even though I've been a therapist forever and in the holistic therapy and everything, I always thought, well, yeah, but if blah 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 will be in my life, everything will be different, right?
Mm.
Well, with the constellations, I actually noticed that, okay, but that's the narrative I want to see. I want to see now this is a powerful thing, and I can take what I thought I didn't have from them, from my mother, from my dad, from my brothers, etc.
Yeah,
So, yeah, it's just
beautiful.
brilliant. It's an aha
Yeah.
moment that I recommend to
Yeah.
everyone.
Yeah. Different lens, looking at it from a different ways. And it's
Mm,
life changing. It really is. Yeah,
yeah,
I get
yeah.
that. If someone wanted to have a constellation with you, how would they get in touch so that they can hear this on Audible?
I do have a Facebook and an Instagram page, and they're both called Samadhi, 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 Claudia,
Yep,
Claudia underscore Samano, or Samadhi Integrative Wellbeing Practices in Facebook. Those are my two
fantastic.
ways.
We'll
My
put,
my website is still in reconstruction because I started a whole new website starting the year, and then I haven't finished it. So, but my website is www.claudiasamano.com, but it's not ready yet. So you can go and check what I have and the workshops that I offer, but it's not finished yet.
that's okay. That's brilliant. They can find you on Facebook and that, which is really cool. And we'll pop the links in the threads as well. So
Yeah,
yeah,
of
so
course.
interesting. Thank you so much for coming and chatting with me today, sharing your passion and your wisdom with us. It's beautiful.
Thank you. No, thank you for inviting me, Tracy. This was a pleasure, and it was a pleasure meeting you at ISCA and sharing with you and dancing with you because I think you were dancing with me too. Moving around. I appreciate your podcast. Thank you so much for doing this.
You're welcome. Thank you. Thank you for listening. Head over to Instagram and tell me what's resonated for you with this episode. You'll find me at tracy.cartwright. That's Tracy with no E, .cartwright. Or head over to my website, tracycartwright.co.nz, and receive a free audio with the gift from your ancestors. So until next time, be kind to yourself and have fun doing it.